Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? How's it going today? Gaze Agenda Live is coming back at you. We got a few awesome guests here today. We're going to talk about HAVOC with Volt Cobalt and Steve Dye. But first, I want to say hello to the chat. Chimera is here. He says, hello, ladies. Is that the kind of ladies you're looking for there, Chimera? I'm not sure if Chris will be showing up. What's up, Pale Rider? Good to see you, man. Michael Bancroft in the chat. What's up, my man? Yeah, get that gaze on. You know you want to. Johnny Cage is here. Good to see you, brother. Vault's in the chat, but he's also here. He'll be here in just a minute. Joe M. Sontag is here. I hope I said that correctly. Hello, my friend. Brutal Morningwood is in the house. Best name on YouTube. Sorry, that's just my opinion. But I have our awesome co-host Miriam here. What's up, Miriam? How you doing?
What's up? What's up? As usually, busy.
Always, yes.
Always, of course.
always and forever.
Like, who needs to sleep, right?
Well, I mean, I'd appreciate a little more, but whatever, you know, we get it when we get it. It's just the way it rolls.
I guess.
But let's say hello to our awesome guests today. We got Volt Cobalt and Steve Dye in the house. What's up, fellas? Good to see you.
Hey, Red Gaze, always a pleasure. And pleased to make your acquaintance, Miriam.
Absolutely. Michael Bancroft says busy. Yes, Michael, busy.
Listen, Stubby. Not everybody has time to just, walk and talk.
Walk and talk. Joe says, hail the panel. Hail to you, sir. Hail to you. So, Vault, tell me a little bit about yourself. What got you interested in starting a project? I know you got more than just a comic on this campaign. But what really got you into the world of writing and creating?
Well, without getting too much into it, I've always been a big reader ever since, I was a kid. And even though Steve don't like it, I'm going to say it anyways. Harry Potter books were a big deal. Also, Sword of Truth series, D&D novels. I was just a ravenous kid when it came to just reading material. And anything that caught my eye, I just tried to read as much as I could about it. And then, after a while, I was like, well, maybe I should try writing some of this stuff down that's going on in my head when I read these adventures. Your head starts going a different direction. What would happen if this happened to this character? Or if, instead of the bad guy losing, he won, or there was a standoff or some tragedy happened, your imagination starts going wild. And I just started putting it to paper and stuff like that. Nothing serious, of course.
Yeah, well, it never starts out serious, does it? It's, it just starts off as jotting down notes usually, or I know in my case, probably your case as well, planning adventures for game sessions, things like that. But that all adds to your creative process and kind of, helps mold your imagination. And say what you like about the Harry Potter books. Those books got a lot of kids into reading. So I got nothing bad to say about them. Chimera says Stone Cold Steve.
Chimera.
Chris showed
what a pain in the ass that
Sugar Chris in the house. What's up, man? And since Sugar Chris is here, let's take a quick red dress break.
Pure nightmare fuel right there.
Is this what we're doing now? I mean, I'm not always. I'm a pretty busy guy. A lot of times I'm actually like working on books and such, and I kind of miss something. Is this what we're doing now?
Here and there.
You're missing the fact that it's Pride Month, right? So,
Yeah, I don't even.
If you're interested.
Yeah, it could be. I have some specific deadlines in mind. Beyond that, I barely know what month it is, so that's probably what's happening.
It's December.
Let alone what novelty month it is, right? Yeah, I got you.
Something.
We got a good man here in the chat. Dissatisfied Convert says one of my first girlfriends turned me on to the D&D novels, also sex. Okay, awesome. That's good. Yeah, there's the D&D novels are really what got me into reading as well. Orville Nation's here. Good to see you, my man. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about HAVOC, shall we? It's oh no, hold on, it's doing it again. Sometimes we get the epileptic surge there. I don't know why that happens, but it does. So yeah, tell us a little bit about your plot here, and what got you into this particular genre.
Well, again, it's just reading stuff or seeing stuff or one of those stories you just make up in your head. I decided to write it down and do it to Steve and say, hey, what do you think about this? Because this actually wasn't the first thing I threw at him. He liked the other thing, but he thought it was too ambitious for a first-time creator, and I agreed. So we went with this. So, never hurts to keep writing.
I think Vault's inspired by classic '90s action adventure type movies. Shoot 'em out, where there's definitely a plot that involves some twists and turns, but it's just a really nice self-contained story where you don't know what's going to happen next, and there will be blood.
Gotcha. Blood's always good. And I was like I was telling you before we got on here, I was glad to see you got Archsider on your interiors here. That guy, he does some good stuff. I don't know if he does. Does he do streaming at all?
I've tried to drag him onto a couple of streams before, Gaze. He's pretty good with the written language, but yeah, English isn't his native tongue. So yeah.
I really like the art and the fact that at some point he's using like subtle tones, and in some parts he's using very vivid colors. Like the hairs are really hair is really popping out.
Yeah, these are his colors as well, right? Because they look a lot like his colors.
Yeah, he did everything on HAVOC, and the thing that you can't see on screen, but we've seen because we've gotten proof and samples of his work in a physical medium.
Well, he got better and better at it. He hadn't done a lot of sequential art before, but he had been schooled to do sequential art, and he definitely, he had aspirations to get into this game and do something, kind of similar to Vault. So it kind of seemed like a good pairing. He was a one-stop shop, and I got to say, he was really good to work with. His turnaround time was great. Occasionally, if there was a correction, he didn't have any problem just getting that done. Wasn't much need for it. But, it's kind of got a unique thing the way he does. It's almost a cell shading thing. It's I don't know. I thought it needed to have more eyes on it. So yeah,
absolutely. Oral Nation, thank you very much for the $5 super sticker. That's a little, what is that? A pear? Is that a pear exercising? It says keep it up. Thanks, my man. Appreciate that. Sorry, just going to try and catch up with the chat here a little bit. Michael says, I've read the Harry Potter books twice. He loves them. Well, you're the type. Johnny Cage says, one day this will get old, Chris. Don't worry. Yeah, it might. I know, Steve, you've been out of the loop for a while. Pale Rider's really been on Chris about this red dress thing. But yeah, maybe it'll die out. Maybe it won't. We'll see what happens. But I think Chris enjoys it. Snowdove's in the chat. What's up, my man? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that, yeah, I listen to Chris like most early every morning, but yeah, apologies that I'm not looking at the chat. I'm usually like working, but yeah, I appreciate the morning roast thing. Yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah,
I'm not at speed on it, but I like Chris. Chris is good people. I just didn't know. I didn't know. I may have heard a thing or two about this red dress thing, but I didn't realize it progressed all the way to memes that would make me want to stab myself in the eyeball with an ice pick.
Oh, come on! This is iconic. This is like, when somebody's gonna say in 10 years on, when somebody's gonna say like 2021, the first thing is gonna be Chris in red dress.
Yeah, Pale Rider has actually claimed Chris as his own IP. But there's more to come there.
All right.
I don't think anyone's gonna fight him on it. All right.
Huh.
Well, I think Chris will, but I don't think he's going to put up much of a fight. That's the problem.
Yeah. Now I'm a little intrigued. Claiming Chris Evans as your own IP. That's a bold move, Cotton.
It is.
Why the hell not? It's free, right?
Could work though. I can see possibilities there. It's interesting.
No, Chris doesn't imagine how I feel, Steve.
I'm going to have to pay better attention. This sounds amusing.
Yeah, Chimera wants him to start an OnlyFans and go above and beyond.
Chimera's full of ideas.
He is, that's for sure. Paul, tell us a little bit about your character here and what she's going to be going through in HAVOC.
Well, she's a unofficial Interpol agent, and she gets an assignment. She thinks it's like any other regular assignment, only she's got this bad habit of, having a conscience and a sense of justice. And deeper she gets, the quicker she's cut loose, and she can't let things go. She keeps sticking her nose into it, and eventually it gets a little bloody.
Now, is there a straight up villain per se in this, or more of a kind of like a mystery?
There's the twist.
It's a bit of both, to be honest with you. I mean, there's a villain. There's a guy driving, the minions and everything like that. But, in the end, kind of got to question if he really was the villain. I'll leave it at that.
So basically, no spoilers, Red.
Well, basically, Steve's right within choking distance, so I'm gonna keep it light.
Oh yeah. I've heard the threat of Steve die before when you're on a book with him.
Yeah, you don't want to become the next Tom Holland.
He's a man with a mini bike. I don't want to tempt him.
And he's going to get there. He's going to get there, so don't screw up. But you also wrote a novella, correct? Which is available on this campaign called Trials and Triumph.
Definitely interested in your take on this case.
Yeah, like I said, I threw a lot of stuff at Steve. Again, this was something else, and he thought it was good. And I'd been working with Doodle, and I kind of couldn't resist getting more art from him, so I kind of bullied Steve a little bit on this one, and got some Doodle art, and the excuse of a story, and thought, hey, why not? Let's just put it out there. Who's going to complain about getting another book?
Why not? Absolutely. So this is kind of an illustrated novella.
Yeah, there's 13 illustrations by Doodle Bags, and all the pages together are 40 pages.
It's kind of hard to believe that the man below you is bullyable.
Depends how much he's had to drink.
It was a deal because here's Vault, and he's trying to establish his he's trying to get a toehold as a storyteller, see if he can do it, and he's got several stories, and the one that I thought that was the most straight up adaptable for a first timer into a really good solid 48-page graphic novel type comic was HAVOC. But yeah, he kept wanting to buy Doodle's artwork, and I mean, you can't really argue with that. Pat's great. But, and certainly your project, Red Gaze, and all that, and there's a certain, I don't know. I don't want to get too much into the nuts and bolts. I don't know if the audience would be. When you do a graphic novel that is 48 pages of sequential art, that is a cost factor. When you do a 40-page book with 13 illustrations in it, that's an altogether different cost factor. Right. And maybe there's room for prose. And if nothing else, it's Vault kind of establishing what he can do all in one swoop. And they're both available if you want them, but you don't have to buy them both. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Because like you said, when I first came out with Sunsworn, a novel in this environment, I had no idea if people would take to it or not. But it went well. I was very satisfied with the results, and people seem to be enjoying it. So I think there is a market for prose out here as well as comics.
Well, you certainly talk to a lot of the people that come more from the writing side of Comicsgate, or the community, or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of them will tell you that they were inspired by the books that they've read, or some will say the movies that they've watched. I mean, it's a generalization, but artists will tell you right off the bat that I love Joe Mad, man. That's what I love. My hero. That's where it's at. Yeah. And you're just like, yeah. I get it. But I don't know though. I think there are I'm a reader. I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm alone on an island sometimes in a lot of ways, but I think a lot of people like to read, So yeah, it's a really pretty book. It was fun to put together. It kind of has this old time storybook thing you had when you were a kid look to it, or at least that's what I was attempting to do. And yeah, I think people will enjoy it. And it gets Vault's work out there, and it's relatively inexpensive to produce. To anybody listening that wants to give it a shot.
Yeah, it really does. It has that old timey feel to it. I do. I appreciate that. I really get some Watership Down vibes here on this particular scene. It's probably not at all what's going on, but that's what's hitting me.
I haven't read Watership Down in quite a while. Are there dire rabbits in Watership Down?
I don't think they're dire rabbits, but there's some mean sons of bitches.
Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, actually, there are some similarities. Come to think of it, it's been a while since I've read. Yeah.
Chimera says, "Writer lives matter." Absolutely.
Yeah.
Writers do often get overlooked quite a bit. I know the art's much flashier. It's much more visual and it draws people in. But I mean, if you don't have a good story there, yeah, we'll see how long that that flashy art lasts.
Well, I mean, going back over, whatever. I'm trying to establish some sort of timeline here, but going over the past, 3 or 4 years of, let's say, independent comic campaigns, kind of rising, being a thing. It seems clear to me that the people, you can, as an artist, eke out a little bit of art at a time and maintain your profile and sell books. I think as a writer, you actually have to produce product. At least that's what the evidence would suggest. If you look at Phil Diaz, or if you look at Chimera, they put out a first book and it sold moderately well, and then they put out a second book and it sold moderately well but better, and then a third, and you got to produce the product. If you're a writer, it's hard to figure out how to do that because you have to work with an artist. But in terms of establishing that, if a consumer parts with their hard-earned money to order your work, that they'll get the work. I think artists can be on a different time schedule than writers. What I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Got Riot Kitty in the house. What's up? We're looking at HAVOC today. This is a crime noir comic as well as a novella by Vault Cobalt and edited by Steve Dye here. Angela Straven's in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you, brother.
Hey, man.
Oh boy, Wiki Lives Matter is in the house. What's up, man? Always good to see you.
It's here.
Oh yeah.
I like women.
It's a 3K stretch goal. You're doing the 6 a.m. stickers. That's awesome. Yeah, people are definitely dig the 6 a.m. stuff. He's on a lot of campaigns.
Oh yeah, he does great work, and 2 for each book. That'd be
fitting. Oh, very cool. Yeah, tell us a little bit about Trials and Triumph.
Basically, it's a story of a guy trying to get his life back together, get back to what he was. The tragedy that kind of gets alluded to at the beginning of the book. He suffers some great tragedy, doesn't know why, but he got through it, and he's basically trying to rebuild himself. And as the title also alludes, that's not always easy. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes things get in your way, but you got to just keep on going.
Totally agreed. I was just looking at a picture below, and those bunnies are huge. Are they supposed to be huge?
Yeah, that's why they're dire rabbits.
Yeah.
Dire rabbits. Okay.
They will rip the flesh from your bones.
So he hunted 2 of them, and now the rest of the pack is getting their revenge.
Well, more like he was hunting them, and then again.
Pretty much what she said, Vault. She got it.
I'm just trying to explain a little bit more without trying to give any spoilers, okay? He was hunting them, now they're hunting him. Stuff happens.
Is he rushing to get his hands on the holy hand grenade?
He's rushing to get his ass out of there. That's what he's doing.
I think he's rushing because he's super hungry and he just wants to, make those rabbits. That is stroganoff.
I think right now he's just trying not to die.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
what you are supposed to think.
Well, let's just say the rabbits aren't the worst things he runs into.
Come on, man! I'm helping you with the spoiler here. You're not cooperating.
I'm
cooperate with the lady, though. Fuck's sakes.
I apologize. His hands are already getting itchy. He's ready to strangle me.
Power Rider says, "Would you like a sticker of the red dress drawing Sugar Chris?" Red dress everything.
You don't say no to this. That's a hot seller.
Not at all. No, I mean, you definitely piqued my interest with dire rabbits. That's something I want to see.
How do you make a dire rabbit?
Well, I imagine in some, ecosystems, they're just part of the habitat.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, they're still discovering weird stuff all the time out there that we didn't know about. So we could have dire rabbits. You never know.
Well, it's a sword and sorcery world, so maybe some drunken mage decided to put some rabbits on steroids or something. Who knows?
That was the fatal mistake, and I suppose that the wizard is probably not alive anymore.
Johnny wants to know when you got so sassy, Katie.
Me, sassy? I don't know what that means.
Frog G is here. Good man, Frog G is. If you're not following him on Twitter, you should be. He says, we faced with such dire rabbits. Well, then I say, croak havoc and let's slip the frogs of war. Chimera says, so space furries can exist, but not dire rabbits. Sure.
I don't know what that means.
Right, Kitty likes the cover. Yeah, that is a nice cover, man. And I definitely like the look that you put on this kind of the old timey storybook. That's some cool stuff.
It's pretty
What's
fun.
the weirdest dire animal that you can think of?
Let me show it to you.
Weirdest dire animal? Oh, 1 second.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a proof copy.
Yeah, I don't know what you're about to learn on the screen. Just deal with it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a nice format.
That's awesome.
I love Doodle's art, but
Turned out to be kind of a pretty book.
Was just as hard.
Wow.
Okay, now he's spoiling stuff.
Yeah, spoilers. Anyway, yeah, that's what it looks like. It's all done. It's pretty fun to.
Well,
do
he's
these
the
little
guy with the
borders.
mini bike, so he can spoil it,
I got. Shut up about the mini bikes.
Not letting that go, Steve. I want a picture you on it.
Hey man, I miss mini bikes. I remember we used to get these shoddy ass mini bikes when I was a kid from the farmers' neighbors.
Yeah.
And there was always something wrong with them, but man, they were fun until they hurt you or broke.
Well, that's if I can divert just for a second, since you guys brought it up. I just said something about in the pre-show. I was busy. You guys brought it up on the show. I mean, me and a bunch of guys still go out and ride race bikes on motocross tracks all the time. But it's time we should cut it the fuck out. So we need to quit it. But it's fine. So right now we're building a bunch of Honda XR100s, or it can be a CRF 100, which is the same thing, but it's a spec class. And we're basically hopping up motorcycles made for 12-year-olds. A bunch of middle-aged guys are going to go out and do circle track racing, and I'm going to knock some motherfuckers down. And that's what's going to happen, because it'll be safer than what we're doing now. So anyway, yeah. We're hopping up some mini bikes. I could be installing a Yoshimura titanium pipe on my XR100 right now. But I'd rather talk about comics, honest.
Yeah, I apologize about the mini bike. I'm a foreigner. I'm not from US, and I live in a country where we drive Ladas, the Russian cars. They're pretty much the Flintstone types. So
Flintstone types. Well, that's kind of what you don't need to apologize at all. But that's kind of what it amounts to. These bikes I'm talking about are a little bit like Flintstone bikes because they're so slow compared to what we're used to riding that you just want to like pedal with both feet to make it go. But
That's awesome.
yeah, we're gonna make them like super
Make a
fast for
race.
slow bikes. We're gonna ride really slow bikes really fast. You knock each other down a lot. Looking forward to it. It's basically what I'm into that in comic books.
You ever
We can
do
get back to
any
comics now.
jousting on mini bikes, Steve?
Dude, there was talk of that. There actually was talk of that. Yeah. Yeah. It's been discussed. Hasn't been tried.
Probably want to keep it at that stage this late in the game.
Well, we're trying to make it a little safer right now. That's my whole point. We're not trying to make it much more dangerous than
Right.
it used to be. Like, should we really be going out and jumping 80 or 90 foot over stuff every weekend? We're old now. Yeah, probably not. Let's knock it out. Let's get some extra 100s. I'm going to break your fucking thigh. It's so hot inside.
Yeah.
I'm going to nail you in the foot peg like I haven't hit you since we were 20 years younger. Let's do that.
Also,
Yeah,
I'd
time
like
to
say
get
thank you
back
yesterday's
into it.
fool.
Yes, thank you. Yesterday's full. Glad to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Chris is shouting spoilers. Right, he says, "I'm glad the hair is shiny." Yeah, man. Well, speaking of Zag Comics, we got Phil in the chat. What's up, man? Good
What's
to
up,
see you,
Phil?
brother.
My nephew.
I see that. Are you proud, Steve?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, tall, good-looking kid. Writes his ass off, puts out books on the regular. Yeah, I'm totally proud of it. It's a good kid.
Let's see, Wiki Lives Matter says, "What about the real issues we all face? Like what color blush goes on your 5 o'clock shadow? I mean, come on, man."
Sounds like a question for the Chris Evans show.
It does, but just because.
Come on, man.
Chris says Katie lives in a country where the village donkey and cart is high-speed transportation.
How dare you? Poor donkeys. That's why I was asking about those dire rabbits. You know, they seem to be quite big. You know, the donkeys can die over here. They are kind of overworked. We're trying to find a way how to, you know, exchange them for some other species. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen to Frog G. It says tickle the algorithm, smash the like, ding the bell, and he frequently says back often. So yeah, definitely back often as well. Yeah, Havoc's a good-looking book, man. Like I said, I love Art Sider's work. He's been doing fan art here for a while now, and I've always been wondering when he's going to get to a sequential, sequential art, doing his own comic. But doing yours is just as good. So I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know if he has any real ambition to tell his own stories. He hasn't really expressed that, but he definitely wants to draw some, and pretty much give him, no, not pretty much, remove the qualifier. I give him my rubber stamp of approval as a guy that was quick, easy, and did good work.
Yeah, and if you know anything about Steve, his seal of approval means a lot. It's not easy to get, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
kind
did
of
a really good job.
me.
Yeah, well, Vault's another issue, but Artsider did a really good job.
Chris says, "Steve, no, don't join their shenanigans and slandering my good name."
Oh, Chris. You're my good friend, Chris.
We all love you, Chris. Bobby Campbell's in the house. What's up, man? He says, "So this is Havoc. Sick." Right, Kitty says, "Hail the glorious mustaches." Oh, yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, Artsider, when you get the physical, like me and Steve have gotten, it just pops, you know, especially like on the metal prints and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know how he does it, but it just with those colors and the way he does it, like that, the front cover of Havoc, I got that. And it's just, if you look close at it, it's almost like it's popping off the page.
Oh, I believe it, man. Yeah, a lot of the stuff he does just on Twitter, things he posts, it looks like it's popping off the page. So I can imagine on metal, that would look really sweet.
Yeah, for metal, you need to have a very good contrast, and he does that definitely.
Oh, there goes Pale Rider again. Chris, your good name is Power Bottom. I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring this down and bring it back up, and we can take a look at the trailer. How's that sound?
Oh, God.
Yes.
All right.
Play the first one.
Passion, excitement.
Suffer, Steve.
Alrighty.
There is not always justice or fairness in the world, but there is always a price. Presenting HAVOC, a 48-page, full-color graphic novel. The hunt begins. Death is the prey. Follow Agent Catherine Samus, a soldier and seeker, as she searches for answers amidst enemies unknown. The taskmaster and pretender, leading her to an unexpected encounter. An oddity and enigma. Mysteries and questions build. You don't find death. Death finds you. HAVOC. Only on Indiegogo.
That was some sick voiceover.
Yeah, that was a 3D Robin helped us out a lot. Now we don't have to play the second one.
I think you're okay.
Gaze is muted. Our host is low.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Thanks.
I was wondering why it was so quiet.
Yeah, you're making me want to play this now. Is there something wrong with it?
Hit it.
You don't have to.
Let's do that.
Yeah, just go ahead and
No, I
play
have
it.
to.
Yeah, just go ahead and play it.
Technically, you
Get
could.
it all
You
over.
don't have to.
Get it all over. Well, everybody's just hiring Gaze to make their videos instead of doing it.
Damn it, here we go. Introducing Trials and Triumph. A 40-page novella. A tale of mystery and hardship. Adventure and intrigue. Choices and fate. What outcomes they bring and the fruit they bear. Find out yourself by grabbing a copy.
See, no, I don't see anything wrong with that either.
Good. So we won't talk about it.
Good. Thanks,
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's cool that you have a trailer for both of your projects on this campaign. Brian, I sent you a link, buddy. Hopefully he'll come in here and talk to us a little bit about Six Gun Gorilla Cemetery Without Crosses in just a bit. Yeah, I was muted. I know. I do it from time to time. I still have some brain fart moments. Pale Rider says Red was trying to chew his pizza. That happened one time, Pale Rider. All right, one time.
Okay, fine. Okay, never mind.
Well, one time that you know of. I do like pizza. It's true. But yeah, we'll hit your tiers quick. First one, your featured perk is Full Metal HAVOC. It's a HAVOC graphic novel with the print, along with Trials and Triumph and a HAVOC metal print. Are you by chance going with Phoenix Animation on your metal prints or someone different?
No, there's a shop out in Florida that's doing it for us.
Gotcha.
I was about to ask that too.
I was just curious because yeah, he's been all around with the metal prints. It looks pretty good. But
there you go.
We got.
Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, that's some nice looking stuff.
Yeah, I actually found that shop last year. I had everything planned out before we ever launched and everything. I wanted to make sure, I didn't want to promise something I couldn't deliver or was subpar,
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
what I really appreciate about the campaign is the fact that you're like, if I read it well, you're pretty much finished, right? You have the book, you have the comic done,
Yeah, they're
and
all
you're just
finished.
yeah,
It's
and
all
that's
finished. Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Yeah.
waved around half of it, but I've got the whole lot sitting here. I can wave around in front of the camera, but it's all done. Yeah, we got it. Yeah,
I see that as a huge advantage because when you're done, right, you can show the best pieces. You can just you can show whatever you want to people. You always can show them something new. And second, you can fully focus on promoting, on getting the streams. So I think it's awesome.
Well, part of my deal when I approached Steve and everything was I made sure I had some money first because yeah, my from the get go the plan was always to have everything completely done because not to beat a dead horse, but I am a first time creator. I kind of got to prove myself, and I don't have a name. I don't have a or history or anything like that. I'm using a pen name for crying out loud. So
Yeah,
pretty
it's a
much
break
I
it
want-
too. I kind of did the same, and you just do it, right?
yeah, but I'm just my personality and everything is I wanted to stack the deck in as much my favor because yeah, I started this before the coup happened, and then it happened. So good thing I wasn't like mid campaign or something like that, and then had to deal with all the stuff because shipping delays and everything.
Right.
Yeah, kind of glad in hindsight that I did it the way I did. And it's not for everyone. Again, you're an artist; you can produce everything, but I'm a writer. I'm kind of at the mercy of everybody. Making a script and everything is not as labor intensive, not as time consuming. I guess for some writers maybe it is, but I don't see it that way. I think the artist has a harder job.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. When you're talking about comics, absolutely. When you're talking about novels, not so much. But
Novels take years sometimes. That's ridiculous.
yeah, it depends. It all depends. But yeah, that's definitely a good point. That's one thing that we're doing with Sunsworn right now. Actually, is I wish we had got a little more of a jump start on that because when you're halfway through, the production stage, trying to promote and all that good stuff, happy horse shit, as we like to say, then yeah, it makes life a little more difficult, which is why I think we all came on here tired. Chimera says writers are faster than artists with their campaigns. I'm gonna have difficulty disputing that claim. But I mean, you need the artist, but I think a lot of times, yeah, writers are a little bit more ahead of the curve as far as the production stage of things when they launch. Usually, not always. Sugar Chris says, yeah, I guess she got fooled, Johnny Cage. I don't know. Oh, be thankful she didn't eat the whole thing. I don't know what's going on in the chat. Sorry, I was just trying to catch up, but it's not working out for me.
Loss over that.
Wookie says someone was beeping. I don't know. I didn't hear a beep. It could be in your nightmares. Jacob Archer Barton's in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Riot Kitty has to go, but yeah, thanks for stopping by, Riot. We'll catch you later. What you got here, Nerian?
Just another page. Because we're still working and working and working and working and working, but we love it.
Yeah, always working. You've been busy lately, doing some killer stuff. Power says, "Don't use that voice, Red." He's talking about his niece. What? Oh, okay, with the pizza and all that. Gotcha. Is there beeping? I don't hear beeping. Does anyone else hear beeping?
Nuh-uh.
Wookie, check your pacemaker. Chimera says, "Beautiful work, Katie. You bring honor to Eastern Europe."
Oh yeah. Time to check the ladder.
Yeah, I saw Bonds. It looks great.
And Sunstorm is going to be a little bit similar, but let's get back.
Let's yes. HAVOC is also available with only the graphic novel. We have HAVOC Plus, which is HAVOC, the graphic novel, and the HAVOC print, which Steve just showed. And we have Havoc Ultra, which is the graphic novel with Trials and Triumph. Yeah, I'd say if you're going to pick this up, man, definitely pick up both because they're both they're very different types of stories. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not. I know it's not just me, obviously, but I, like Steve said, I dig reading. Comics are cool, but so are books, man. I love reading a prose story. We got Metal Gear Havoc. Yeah, Metal Gear Havoc. That's Havoc the graphic novel with Trials and Triumph, as well as the Havoc metal print. And finally, we got Full Contact Havoc, which is the graphic novel, the print, Trials and Triumph, the metal print, and original art. Oh, is that original art from the comic, or is that just traditional to go along with it?
We have original art from both of them. We got a little bit of both. I got all the doodle stuff sitting right, about 5 feet from me. And then Art Sider's going to send me the stuff he's working on.
Very cool, man. And that is not a hefty price to pay for original art, people. So definitely take advantage of that. Frog G says, do yourself a favor and get both. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, man. Wookie says, it's all I can hear now is Red even talking. I really don't know what you're talking about, man. Chris says, I hear a fast beeping faintly in the background.
Maybe someone has a fan on.
Perhaps. I think you can get past it. I can barely pick up on it. Parrider says, Time of the Twins was the first book I read. Wow. Chimera says, yeah, I hear it. Time to mute the panel one at a time to find the culprits. I don't know that this is a serious enough thing to start a witch hunt. Brian says, so seriously, that's a sweet deal. Yeah, it definitely is, man. Oh, great. Now everyone's hearing it. Son of a bitch.
Oh, just listen. Okay, blame it on me. Blame it on me. You know, I usually have a problem with camera.
Let's find out.
Okay, it stopped.
Yep, it's Miriam. It's Miriam.
There it is. I told you we have everything. We have Lodakers. We don't have mini bikes, that's true, but we have the beeping. Isn't that sweet?
Well, thankfully, Johnny Cage is still hearing no beeping. So it's all right.
Johnny.
Yeah, someone's on your side.
Brian, you have the link, man. If you want to come in here and chit chat for a bit, you're more than welcome to. But in the meantime, if you haven't checked out Havoc yet, please do so. The link's in the description below. And we got another couple of projects we want to talk about. Sunswarm Wings of Vengeance is still not in demand. I almost said still in demand. Still funding. We got 5 more days. So if you haven't gotten on board with that, please do so.
Oh, you
check it out.
Day off for me.
Yeah, man. I didn't realize you launched right around the same time I did. I thought this was relatively new. That was my mistake.
Are you on your first or second 30 days?
I'm on my second. It's about to run out.
Okay. That explains it. Okay.
But yeah, we also got Bonds the Drive, which is in demand. Check that out. Miriam's art speaks for itself. The story is looking bitchin'. I read pretty much the whole outline for the entire overarching story, and it's good stuff, man. It's not just going to be a Mary Sue tale. There's definitely lots of trials and triumph in this as well. So yeah, get on board with Bonds the Drive. Shadow of the Kraken also in demand. Again, Vinny's art speaks for itself. So does his stories. The guy's fulfilled. But yeah, let's see if we can kick him over 16K here, because well earned. He deserved it, man. And yeah, this looks like a really bitchin' pirate story. But let's talk a little bit about Six Gun Gorilla. What's up, Brian? How you doing, my man?
Hey, what's up, Red? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Aside from the that mysterious beeping,
the horrific beeping,
which is no longer. Actually, it doesn't sound like a beeping. It sounds more like, I don't know, like a
rattling.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. But I didn't notice until somebody pointed it out.
That's my camera. You know, I have these little pedals under my table. So when I need to autofocus, I need to start pedaling, and that's rattling that you can hear. So you know.
Oh, okay. You don't have like the little hamster in the hamster wheel, like powering your computer. Like
no, because last time I was talking to Tommy from Guinea Pig, you know, he pointed it out and has said that was an animal abuse, so it needed to be reinstalled. completely different
Lame.
titles. So
Oh, God. Some people always got to find something to complain about.
yeah.
Power Rider solved it. Says Katie, you beeped like a malfunctioning ankle bracelet. But he still loves you.
Come on, Bill, don't be jealous.
You
Get
would
your own
know.
pedals.
You would know, dude. You would know. Oh man, too funny. But yeah, no, I mean, like, hey, you may have some squeakiness going on, but your book looks fire, man. Looks really, really good. Looking forward to seeing more of it. I'm backing as I'm not just a campaigner. I'm also a backer, and I don't get to back as many books as I'd like, but that definitely looks like one that I think I need on my list for sure.
Yeah, man.
Well, speaking of books you need.
Yes, Six Gun Gorilla, Cemetery Without Crosses. This is issue number 8 in the Six Gun Gorilla saga. This is my third campaign. Well, no, actually, I had 3 first campaigns, right? That means I had like 2 unsuccessful campaigns before I had 1 successful campaign.
Right. Well, it happens. You got to get out there, man. Which you did very well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always make a point to mention that for people who are maybe like launching like their first campaign, that you can learn a lot from people like me, people like Vinny, people like yourself, Red. You can learn a lot from our successes, but you can especially learn a lot from our blunders. And if at first you don't succeed, well, learn from the community, find out what we did wrong, find out what we did right, and there's always people here who are happy to be of assistance, and that's why I'm so happy and proud to be a part of this indie comics community that we got here.
It's all practice.
Absolutely. I think it is all practice.
Yeah.
It is.
That's okay.
Well,
yeah, yep, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So first campaign did about 8. Last campaign did about 20K. Hoping that this is going to surpass that. Had a very soft launch. Didn't schedule like being on like 20 shows in the same day or that sort of a thing, because this is the very first time I'm actually doing Indiegogo the way that Indiegogo is supposed to go, which is to say that the comic book isn't finished. Previously, I always had a finished book before I launched, and that always felt good, which y'all were discussing before. But what's cool about this campaign is that as Preston Acevedo is illustrating it, he's picking up from where Adrian Sabar left off. Adrian, unfortunately, passed away last year and is no longer with us. And Preston very kindly has stepped in to fill in for him. And he's also basing the first pages of the book off of the 10 pages of pencils that Adrian turned in. I'm thinking of releasing those original pages as maybe like an ash can, or maybe putting them in the back of the book if I can. And you can get this with two covers. One is the very last is Adrian's cover, very last work of art that he did for Six Gun Gorilla, and it always makes me happy when I see it because it's very joyous and cheerful. And it sucks because it's like any victories that we have with this book moving forward are always going to be just a little bit bittersweet because Adrian's not there.
Right.
But life goes on, and I know he would want this book to go on, and Preston is just doing just a bang up, absolutely beautiful job. As a matter of fact, if you look at the panel that's right where Gravesend is grabbing Abigail by the arm and like slamming her to the floor. Yeah. You'll notice at the very bottom it says, I think, PA after AS, which is to say Preston Acevedo after after Adrian Sibar. So he because of course it's like crap. It's like I don't want to do anything disrespectful in terms of like recreating his art, but I'm like, Preston is a man of real integrity, and I know that he's gonna know how to do this the right way. Like and he's killing it. It's when you're it's not unusual to change artists in the middle of a book if it's like a long running book, right? But you don't want to go from Neil Adams to like Bill Sienkiewicz.
Right.
Right? You want the transition to not be jarring. And I think this is going to be a non-jarring transition.
Well, it is a bit of a deal. But, it points out, not to interject in your pitch, but I guess I'm doing it anyway. Pace of a writer versus the pace of an artist versus how quickly you can get something done, funded, and go on to the next project.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I've finished the scripts for the entire Six Gun Gorilla series about 5 years ago. Actually, I've all the scripts are finished, and that's enabled me to work on a bunch of other projects. Oh, but I kind of digress. You have to forgive me. I actually just crept out of bed about 2 hours ago, because my muse is very pesky and usually comes to visit me at 3 a.m.
Man, what a lucky man.
Keeping comic skate hours is not healthy.
It's not. It's not. But I'm telling you, it's like 3 o'clock. That's when the fire comes. So, yeah, it's but whatever. But what's cool about what we're doing here is that Preston is starting to do live streams of himself illustrating the book. So if you back this book, I will shoot you a link whenever he and I are live streaming. And if you're wondering, like, hey, where's my monkey book? Well, you're going to actually see us putting it together.
Oh my God, I'm so happy that you finished it, because it was starting like, if you're gonna, if you are interested, I'm gonna shoot you.
Brian, I got to tell you, I was a little disappointed with myself the other day, because I've been doing these things at 12:30 every day. It's called 5-Minute Firestorms, just talking about a little, some stuff that's going on in pop culture and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And with movies and comics. And everyone I try to throw in like some kind of small promotion. And the one it was the 5-year anniversary of the death of Harambe. And I was kicking myself afterwards. I was like, oh man, I should have threw in Six Gun. What was I thinking?
Harambe should have packed heat.
For sure.
Six Gun would have taught him a thing or two. He don't play that shit.
But yeah, Brian, for anybody who's not familiar, want to kind of give them a little backstory, kind of how we got to this point with Six Gun Gorilla?
Yeah. Six Gun Gorilla was originally it's a public domain character, actually. Although I've actually figured out, I've finagled a way to make sure that this character is my own IP. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but I came across the title. I was on a website about pulp heroes, right? And I'm obsessed with pulp literature. Edgar Rice Burroughs, Robert E. Howard, all that stuff I am just an absolute sucker for. And I came across the title Six Gun Gorilla, and I was like, I need to read this. It turned out that I couldn't. Nobody could, because there were only 2 copies left in existence, and they were both under lock and key in a museum in London. And so I got really, really frustrated, and I hopped in my car and decided I was going to go to console myself with my favorite junk food, which is fish and chips. And when I pulled into the parking lot of the fish and chips joint, I had the entire story. It was like, okay, if I can't read this, I'm going to have to write it. And it's worked out beautifully. I mean, it's the only time in my life that a story or a script or anything emerged like holy forms.
So you just pulled over and wrote it down?
No, it was just there. It was just because I mean, once it's in my head, everything from that point on is just stenography. Like actually just sitting down and actually writing the actual script. That's just stenography. I'm just the real creative stuff happens when I'm like napping on the couch, or I'm in the shower, or sitting in traffic or something like that. That's usually when the story
You
comes.
actually managed to retain all your best lines that way?
Oh yeah,
Really?
I do.
All of them?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty good, dude. Yeah, I got to give it to you. I forget like half of mine. That's why I would, when I was more actively writing, I would jot things down to be sure.
Dude.
I'd have that thought running down the freeway at 85, and I'd write something on it. I'd scribble some notes on the back of an envelope. Because otherwise, that thought might be boiled and bruised somewhere.
Oh, dude, I've got attention deficit disorder. I'm right there with you. I always carry a pad with me, but it's usually for writing down like practical things like appointments or this, that, or the other thing. It usually doesn't involve anything creative. All the creative stuff, once it's in my head, it's just because that's a thing about attention deficit disorder. Is I'm one of the people that has a curious side effect of it, which is hyperfocus. Which is to say that the stuff that we're like really interested in, we can just kind of like laser focus on. And I was very much laser focused on the story. It's a passionate story. It's got everything I loved growing up. I grew up, of course, loving the original King Kong and the original Mighty Joe Young, and Planet of the Apes, and I also loved westerns. And there was something just about this project, about that name, that just boom set off a firecracker in my head. And evidently, it's a firecracker that everybody loves. I don't say that to boast.
Well, you got a great tagline, though. I mean, that really helps. It really sucks people in.
Oh well, yeah. I should share because I'm coming on here like everybody already knows who I am, but yeah, and everybody knows the book. The tagline is a very big ape with very big guns blowing very big holes in very bad people.
I kind of wonder what happens when this gorilla meets the AR-15 orangutan.
Oh, he's gonna clean his clock. Well, real question is, what happens when Buckshot Bonobo steps into the scene?
Oh, geez, Clash of the Monkeys over here.
And Grenade Launcher Gibbon. But yeah,
are these all coming in the future?
No.
Planet of the Apes.
Well, here's the thing. And for those that don't know, in Michael Bancroft's chat, Mo Biggs started AR-15 Orangutan as a troll on me, right? And Six Gun Gorilla. And then it just like mutated and became this thing, like this unstoppable like ball of energy. And yeah, it's a thing, and it's gonna happen. I mean, when Billy Blackso was on there and sold, I think auctioned off his AR-15 orangutan painting for like $600. I contributed $5 and had a little message to Mo saying like, you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Real quick, guys, Katie has to go. It's super late there in Slovakia. Any parting words, Katie?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to bed and rest my legs so I can Flintstone my car tomorrow. And it was such nice to meet you guys, right? Walt, Cobalt, and Steve. I didn't know you before, and I'm really glad that I got to meet you. And also for you, Brian, right? This is the first time we're basically speaking together, so
it is.
It's awesome. I hope to meet you guys soon.
Oh, you will, because here's the beauty about. See, I'm sorry, I got to pimp this scene really quickly. All you have to do is come in through the door, and if your book looks like it's professional and everything, you're family. And All you have to do is start hitting all the different streams and give people a chance to get to know you, get to know your book, and take advantage of us, which is to say, think of the rest of us, people who have done campaigns, successful campaigns in the past. Think of us as a resource, and don't be reluctant to hit us up for any information or advice, because we are dedicated to being the opposite of the mainstream. We're not gatekeepers, we're gate openers.
Yeah, and that was pretty much what I did in the very first beginning. In the very beginning, right? I set this man with the red eye as my official manager of the project, right?
Yeah,
so,
man.
Taking advices from pro.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
She kicked the door in.
Dude,
Gabe knows the ins and outs pretty well.
Oh, so that was a needless lecture on my part.
Well, that's all right, Brian, because you know what? Someone in the chat might have needed to hear it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good advice in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gase knows the ins and outs pretty well. So
yeah, he does. He does. And he's
he's good people.
Pretty good hookup.
And Andy's good people, and he's a good writer too. So there is that. But yeah, that was just my way of saying welcome to the family.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
It was nice to meet you, and that was a good callback on the Flintstone cars thing.
Well, we're pals. One day we're gonna race. If my car survives till then, first I need to get it. First I need to buy it, then to make it into a Flintstone car, and then we can do a race. So yeah.
Start working on those calluses, because you're gonna have to do that shit barefoot. You realize?
Not a problem. I did worse things. So, all right. Anyways, I gotta go.
Peace out.
Good night, Katie.
Bye, Katie.
Bye.
Sleep well.
Slipstick's in the chat. What's up, my man? He says he picked up the Preston cover. Probably go back and get the full floppy set. Awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yeah. This campaign, I'm not selling a trade paperback. The past 2 campaigns, I was selling a trade paperback of the first 6 issues. I found with the last campaign, it was causing confusion for people, because it was like, okay, wait, like people were contacting me and saying, why is one book $35 and one is $15? And I was like, well, it's because the trade paperback isn't 1 comic, it's 6 comics. And the new comic is just 1 comic. And I explained it pretty clearly, but people were still getting confused. And I figured if I released a trade paperback and then 2 floppies, that was going to be way too messy. So I figured, you know what? Let's not do the trade paperback thing for a while. The last one I did was with the Kanan White cover. I promised people that I wasn't going to reprint that one, so it would have collector's value, and I keep my promises. I'm not a collector. I'm just a reader. I don't care about all the bells and the whistles and the variant covers, but I know a lot of people out there do. So you got to respect that. You got to respect that. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just largely agreeing. I have a few. There's a couple things I can quibble about, but I'm not going to do it on the air. But yeah, I think that's essentially right. I think, I don't want to go into it.
That's okay.
I do that. Well, I think there's a method to, establishing a published schedule and fulfilling in that manner, and that's what the customer expects. And it might be more feasible to do 448s and then reissue them collected.
Oh, that's an interesting
with another cover, and that sort of thing to let people catch up and make it affordable, and you're not printing you do your first. I mean, I think it is pretty much. I think on any of these books, it should be a first run. I mean, you should do a first run. It's not going to kill you to do a second run and call it a second run.
Well, you know what? When I did my first campaign and just did the trade paperback, I was kicking myself in the ass because I was thinking, oh man, you dummy, you should have done a campaign for issue 1 and then a couple months later issue 2, issue 3, and you could have gotten on a monthly or a quarterly schedule. And let's face it, most of us would like to get at least on a quarterly schedule.
Quarterly would be good.
quarterly would be awesome. That's what I'm hoping for. That's where I'm hoping to get. What I'm aiming for. But then I also thought, you know what? I wanted to hit the audience. I wanted to hit the readers and the backers with my absolute best shot. That I wanted to get them so deep into the story that I really grabbed their attention and I really grabbed their heart.
Sure.
And so that they were invested in the story, they were invested in the characters, and it worked. And so, I have no regrets there. But with this this campaign, you can get the new issue, Six Gun Gorilla issue number 8, Cemetery Without Crosses, by itself, or you can get it with all of the back issues for a special discounted price. So it's like, so if you're new to the world of Six Gun Gorilla, you can catch up real easy, and you can also order the issues 1 through 7 a la carte through the add-on menu.
Oh, that's very cool. I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah, I mean, we're all, we all learn from each other, and we're all trying to figure out different ways of.
It's a good variation on the theme. Good, good idea.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is. Let it be said that out of all the independent comic books that I've had delivered to my various mailboxes in the last 3 or 4 years, Brian's is absolutely one of the best ones. Six Gun Gorilla was really, really good read. I got the big, thick anthology, and it was one of the most thoroughly enjoyable books I ever received.
Oh,
a whole lot of them.
Oh man, you're too kind. Thank you.
That's for real.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
You know I'm not kind, although
no, and that's
he's definitely not.
And that's the thing. It's like everybody loves this book, and it's freaking.
It's really good.
It's freaking me
out. Really fun.
Dude, thank you so much. It's just like, God, man. It's because the thing is when you put your work out there, you don't know if people are going to vibe with it. You don't know if it's going to click with everybody. You're not even expecting it to click with everybody. You're thinking there's some people that aren't going to like this, or some people that are going to like it. There's going to be some people that are really going to like it. But it's like everybody really loves this book, and once again, it's difficult for me to say that without sounding like an arrogant prick. But it's just
Hey man, facts are facts.
Oh man, I couldn't be more grateful. This community has been so wonderful to me. The backers have been wonderful. The thing that's also great about this scene is that the backers get one-on-one customer service. If my book, if your books arrive all jacked up or like a little bent or twisted or, even just a little scuffed or something like that, let me know, and you will receive a profuse apology from yours truly and a replacement like stat.
Faux show, and that's what it's all about, man. Keeping the customers happy.
Yeah, it is.
And great story. And I might add, by the way, you might be the very first person to have a very successful Western book in this environment as well.
Yeah, I kind of am. And it's great seeing other Western books coming up behind me. And, I look, one of the things that's great about this scene also is that we're all about diversity of genre. I mean, there's some people that, I got a message not too long ago from some guy, and and the gist of it was, hey man, everybody's talking about what a great writer you are, and that like you're like this awesome writer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you've got a Western. Do you have any books that aren't Westerns? And I'm like, well, I'm doing some, but just so you know, it's a Western, but it's a revenge Western with a gorilla.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of, and it's in the Western.
Like a genre within a genre.
It's exactly. I would consider it a weird Western, with a capital W. Yeah,
right.
weird Western. In other words, this comes from like the unwritten part, the unwritten history of the Old West. The same one that High Plains Drifter and stuff like that exists.
Well, I mean, you're leading with the freaking gorilla and the huge guns.
Yeah.
But you definitely kind of hit some marks as far as overall story arc within a western. You know, it's a pretty damn good western.
Well, that's what I want. That's how I wrote it. That's how I
Yeah.
wrote it. And it's a genre that's very special to me, and it's a genre that I have studied very, very, very carefully.
And it shows. It
Thanks,
has
brother.
it has a resonance of somebody that knows how to connect the dots on how to tell a long form story.
Oh, thanks, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it does.
And then there's my secret, which very few people have caught on to, which is that basically this is Tarzan in reverse.
Oh, well, the secret's out now.
Secret's out now. Secret's out now.
Shit,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I didn't even consider it a secret. It's like so few people caught on. I was like, oh man, I'm getting away with murder here. But one of the chief inspirations for this also was Edgar Rice Burroughs' original Tarzan the Ape Man. And it was influential in the sense that when you sit down and you read that, and yeah, I mean, you know, the ending's a little bit silly, but when you're dealing with the section of his origin, of how he's discovered by the Manjani and how he grows up and et cetera, you don't feel like you're being told a story. You feel like you're being told a legend.
Right.
There's a mythic quality that's there, and there's a mythic quality to the Western. And
Yeah.
so I really wanted to make this a very mythic story. And I wanted it to be more than people expected. One of the biggest compliments I've gotten, and I've gotten it from quite a few people. I actually got this from Ethan. I got this from Cecil. I got this from quite a few people. Mandy. They all said it's not what you think it is. And you know, someone might think like, well, what? It's not a Western, revenge Western with a gorilla with giant guns? No, it is that. You're gonna get that, and you're gonna get that. It's, you know, I mean, right in the first 5 pages, I knew I had to open. You make a contract with your reader when you're calling your book Six Gun Gorilla, and you have a giant gorilla on the cover with a giant gun, right? You better hit them fast with some action. But I also really wanted to get people unexpectedly moved or unexpectedly touched or unexpectedly drawn in to a degree that they weren't expecting, and it worked, and that's just incredibly satisfying for me to hear as a writer.
Okay, so maybe I just what I'm getting, because unfortunately I haven't read the book, but I'm gonna fix that.
That's so good.
Basically you're taking the material seriously. Yes, it's a gorilla with guns and everything, but you're coming at it from a position of reverence for Westerns and the modern myths and the legends of that time, and just everything that came along with it. You know, the whole mythos and everything. You're taking it seriously. It is a serious story.
Yes.
Main character just happens to be a gorilla, you know?
Absolutely. And you nailed it there, brother. And that,
It's actually pretty much right. You know, it's very, it's got a golden age comic feel to it, and yet the story and pacing is a really satisfying mix of 60s Sergio Leone type shoot 'em up, but it also has a lot of like John Ford 60s era. It's got, I don't know. I mean, and Westerns, like most traditional, in the greater term, Western story archetypes, if you're adept at employing those, you can construct a story that flows like that, and you did, buddy.
Yeah, well, wow, how do I put this? Okay, when I just discovered that when you tell this type of story, it's more fun when you play it poker faced. It's more fun when you play it straight. And everything these days is always winking at you, right? Like, hey, see, we're in on the joke. We're in on the joke.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
And that shit drives me crazy. It's just like, why can't you tell? And this is my thing as a writer. I like to take a very absurd concept and tell a very, very serious story in a very sincere way. And so far it's working for me.
Yeah.
At least on this book it is. You know, everybody seems to get it, and I'm just super grateful for that because it's not what I was expecting.
Yeah, because you just got to think about it. When you hear Spider-Man, just, you know, take away all the history, take away everything you know about it, and just someone said Spider-Man, you're like, that sounds ridiculous.
Right.
You know, a man that pretends to be a spider, or a spider that pretends to be a man. What are you talking about? But anyone who knows, you know, the original grand, great story of Peter Parker, yeah, that's just
which is also
name.
very mythic, right? Which is also very mythic.
Yeah, it's just the name. You know his journey, you know his history, you know all the struggles he constantly go through. You know, he protects his neighborhood, his community. You know, he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and stuff like that. But
yep,
he's basically a kid who went through some messed up stuff, discovered, you know, his own form of justice, became a vigilante, and he don't kill nobody. He just protects the people around him.
Yep,
that's basically the bare bones of it. And also everything else is just, you know, it's just what do you call it, drapery and stuff.
Yeah, and one of the things that they miss in the movies to a large degree, I find, is just like what a Weisenheimer he is, and the fact that when he puts on that mask, he just becomes like, especially with like the way he taunts the villains, his sense of humor. You don't see that in the movies very much.
Yeah, he just kind of cuts loose, you know, because he can.
Yeah, the quips have never been done well. Nobody's pulled off the quips. The Tom Holland dude's kind of quippy, but it's not really there.
Well, the movies are the Tom Holland movies are especially the second one is terrible because they tried to turn it into Twilight, basically.
Yeah, it's all jacked up. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, awful, right? But the scenes where you see Spider-Man and it's an actual guy in a costume doing flips and that sort of a thing, and the quips and everything, those moments I think are
pretty close.
Most accurate.
Yeah, that's pretty close. That's what I'm saying. It kind of works. But yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the rest of the movies don't.
Well, yeah.
Just those moments. If the whole movies were like that, you know, they'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think the animated series and the Spider-Man games back in the day did it the best.
Yes.
Where he was quirky and quippy and stuff like that. And, you know, for most people who know the history of Peter Parker and everything like that, they understand that when he puts on that mask, he's putting on a persona. He quips and all that stuff, you know, for tactical reasons and as a way to hide his fear, because at the end of the day, most of the time he was just a kid that's freaked out of his mind trying to just make it through everything.
Absolutely.
You know, he never won by or even the fastest or most agile or anything. He did it by being clever, by exploiting the weaknesses of his opponents and stuff like that. He was always the underdog in just about every encounter.
And having a lot of heart. You know?
Exactly. It was he's all heart. That's at the bare bones of it. He's all heart.
Motivated in some ways by fear, but that's underlined by having enough heart to deal with the fear.
There's that
overlying trope.
That classic scene, right? Was it Buscema who drew it? Where all the, or was this, or was this Ditko? Where all that machinery is falling on him, right? And the water is pouring down and he wants to give up. And he's just like, he just like summons like this surge of power. That's where you see his heart. You know, because it's like in martial arts, it's in boxing, it's in any martial art. It's like, okay, well, can you hit? That's one thing. Question is how hard can you get hit and keep coming and keep getting back up? And that's when you find out what you're really made of as a person. And it's the same thing with characters. You know, I kick the shit out of my characters. In fact, in this latest issue, when you find out what the Cemetery Without Crosses is, it's gonna mess you up, and it's gonna mess you up hard. Like, I feel bad for doing this to Kumba, aka Six Gun Gorilla. It's I'm not gonna give it away, but
don't kill him, dude.
I'm not gonna.
He's just gonna kill him on the inside.
just kill him.
Exactly.
Like, don't do that.
You never kill your heroes. You just maim them. That's all you do. That's the key. You maim them a lot.
You don't kill the dog. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Right, right. Unless it's like like the Crow or like Simon Garth the Zombie or someone like that, then you can kill him because the whole point is them coming back. But
You can kill zombie dogs. Is that what you're saying?
zombie dogs? I didn't say anything about killing those zombie dogs.
I don't follow you, dude. You can't kill the dog in your story.
No, I never would. I never
You can't
would.
kill the dog.
No.
It's not. It's the inverse of save the cat.
Yeah.
Don't kill the dog.
Yeah. Have you read that book by who's the guy who wrote that?
I don't know what's his chops. Of course, I've read it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Here's the thing about books about writing.
Yeah.
I read them periodically, and I enjoy the heck out of them, and I enjoy the heck out of that one. Also, Spider Spin a Web. Stephen King's book on writing is also really good.
That's actually pretty entertaining because it's so anecdotal. I don't know how useful it is, but it's quite an entertaining read because it's so anecdotal.
Right.
But he does throw in a lot of stuff that I think is really solid. Yeah, solid advice if you want to write like Boilermaker type novels. There ain't nothing wrong with that, dude.
No, not at all. Not at all. But
Yeah.
there's also no substitute for experience. I've been writing for 30 years.
Yeah, you got to write and you got to rewrite and you got to rewrite.
Yep.
You got to publish and republish. It's just yeah. It takes a minute to get good at something, right?
Oh, especially comic book writing because it's the most unnatural way to tell a story in the world. Quick story, quick anecdote, total non sequitur, but I think it's one worth telling. 1960s. Stan Lee is in his office. He hears a knock at the door, and this writer comes in, and he's from across the street. He works at Esquire magazine, and he's like, "Dude, I want to write comic books. I want to write the Fantastic Four. I love what you're doing." And so Stan is like, "Okay, here, go, like, this is like the basic thing that we give to everybody, and it explains like the characters and all that stuff, and go and write me a fill-in script for Fantastic Four." 2 months go by. He calls the writer up, and the guy's like, "Dude, I tried, I couldn't do it. This is way too difficult. I think I'll do something easy like write a novel." That writer's name was Mario Puzo, and the novel was The Godfather.
Yeah.
So it's because what you're doing is you have to develop a whole new set of muscles without losing the old ones. You're telling a story in snapshots, and most importantly, well, I mean that's how I approach it, right?
Yeah.
And then you also have to understand, and this is something I urge all of my fellow writers to do, and that is to embrace the collaborative nature of the medium. That's to say, like my man Preston Acevedo says, that when you're making a comic book, you don't have one storyteller, you have two storytellers. And very often, they're going to have ideas that are better than yours. And don't ever be a D-bag or a dingleberry and say, "Wait, no, we have to go with my idea because my idea is better because it's my idea." You never want to work with people like that. Ever, ever, ever. It's all about the finished product. And that's what I love.
That's how we got the Phantom Menace.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And what we're looking at here, this is from the previous issue, the Big Gun Down. It lives up to its title. That issue is pretty much where our heroes are at the dream stage of the adventure, and they're just wading through bad guys. It's Six Gun with his partner Giuliano Schmidt, just dumping them in ditches, mowing them down. This is that last issue is the dream stage. The new issue, Cemetery Without Crosses, it's the nightmare stage. And that's a part of the story that I always particularly love. There's a reason why The Empire Strikes Back is easily the best Star Wars movie. It's because it's the point in the story where everything goes to shit. And the heroes get dumped on their asses, and that's when you find out what they're really made of. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and Preston's just doing an absolutely beautiful job. I'm so psyched to be working with him. Also working on the Blood Hunt Doc Salem crossover with him and Simon Sim Poitier, and almost done with that. And man, they are just great guys, great human beings, great artists. But like I said, also they have that same attitude, which is like it's not about ego; it's about let's just make a kick-ass comic book. That's all they care about. So make sure you're careful who you work with, and that they have the same goals in mind that you do.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Also, Sim needs to get his files in, by the way.
Also well said.
Let that go.
What is? Well, wait, Sim's not here, is he? Okay, because if he was, I was going to tell him to take his shirt off because he's like he should be like Randy from Trailer Park Boys and never be allowed to wear a shirt.
Cool, man. Well, guys, that was an awesome conversation. Brian, I'm going to play this trailer quick, and
Thanks, brother.
Then we'll wrap things up.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I just shared it without audio again. You're very welcome. Yeah, you guys are awesome guests. This is a good time.
Seriously. And that was by the very, very talented Bronson Gorilla. That's the short version of the trailer that he did for me.
Who did that?
Bronson Gorilla.
I know. Yeah, that was well done.
Yeah, he also did there's the original trailer that people can watch after that. That's a little more involved, I would say. It's about 2 minutes, but it's got like
play that too. We can do that.
Oh hell yeah, man! Thanks,
yes.
bro.
Well, yeah, man. Don't want all this hard work to go to waste.
Thanks, brother.
We've all heard the stories. We've all heard the legends. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid. But there's a secret history to the Old West. One that seems too strange to be true, but, well, we all know what they say about the truth. Very big ape, very big guns, blowing very big holes, very bad people. I think the world is finally ready to hear the story of the strangest, the most startling Western hero of them all. Six-gun gorilla, long days of vengeance.
Bitchin'.
Absolutely bitchin'.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well,
yeah, totally.
thank you guys for coming. Everybody, don't forget to check out these awesome campaigns. We got Six Gun Gorilla, Cemetery Without Crosses by Brian Christgau. He's a proven creator. He's delivered. He's delivered good stuff too. So yeah, definitely check that out. I just added the link to the description. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was gonna say I'm not like at the Vinny level yet, but when it comes to delivering, but then again, he's the fulfillment king, so.
Hey, listen, man. If at this point, if you're somebody who's put one campaign in a fairly timely manner, you're top dog on my list.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. I got 2, so this is number 3. And like I said, the book hasn't been finished, but it's not gonna. People aren't gonna be waiting forever for it. And you're actually, if you back the book, you're gonna get links and updates to actually watch videos of the book being drawn. Watch out for spoilers.
Very cool. Well, some people enjoy spoilers. Some people don't.
There you go.
No spoilers.
There you go. And everybody, go back Sunsworn too, man.
Please do. Yeah, man. We got 5 days to go before it goes in demand. I'd like to get over that 10K hump if at all possible. And that'll also unlock some more cool stretch goals for you guys. But also check out HAVOC. The link for that is in the description also. Steve and Vault, you guys have any parting words you would like to say on this awesome project?
Just that Vault came to me with a plan, a story, and enough money to make it happen. He's throwing his hat in. It's a really good book. Back it.
It looks badass. And what? Only 4 days left? How come I had wait? Because I think this is one of those books I'm only now just hearing about.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah. Well, bust a move, dude. We gotta, if you've been on like all the other streams, like Graded Point 5 and Mandy and all that shit.
Not those, but I've been on some other streams, so I've been getting word out there.
Okay, well, but hit them up because this should be doing much better. Because this looks like a hot book. You should at least be at like 5 or 6 at this point, minimum.
Yeah, well,
This
might be the last 4 days.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
No, I know. But you're going into demand after this.
Yes, it's definitely going in demand.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, it's the first 30 days.
Yep.
We'll get a decent chunk out of it. There may be further announcements.
Heck yeah, and you also have the option to get Trials and Triumph, the novella that goes along with this. Completely different genres on one campaign. I mean, you can't ask for more. Yeah, and I'm always interested to see fellow prose writers out there because I think we need more of them in our community here as well. So Vault, I'm really glad you're throwing your hat in that ring as well. I mean, you're coming out the gate swinging, man, with both mediums here. So hats off to you, man.
Yeah, just trying to show my range and show the people what I got to offer them.
Hell yeah.
And
yeah.
Just so you know, I owe a special thanks to you, Red Gaze, because you're the campaign I always point to when Steve wants to fight me on Trials and Triumph. I'm like,
does he fight you a lot?
He did in the beginning, but now now everyone's saying how much they like Trials and Triumph and everything.
I'm a pretty big fan of a very streamlined campaign on the first campaign.
Gotcha.
I'm a big fan of very many extras.
Yeah,
so it was a little bit of an organic situation as far as that goes. But the more I crunched the numbers and looked at the relative cost, print run, and this and that, I'm like, well, maybe this will probably work. I don't know how big it'll be, but a lot of people have shown a lot of interest in it, which is gratifying. So cool.
I'll tell you what, it looked beautiful in your hands, man. It's a good looking storybook there.
Yeah, well, it's fun to put together, if nothing else. So, no.
Yeah, you guys got a killer team here, man. So, yeah, good luck to everybody. Thanks, everybody in the chat for coming out. You guys are awesome. And, we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace out, chat.
Mr. Gates.
Thank you, everybody.
Peace and love.